Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn is caught up in the latest scandal with Ward Baker,
a bald-headed psychopath.
Baker handles Marsha Blackburn's campaigns and very unscrupulous, and was recently named 109 times in the Epstein files.
That is the tragic part.
Even after listening to recordings that were made inside of her own office, Blackburn just denies.
But News Channel 5 Investigates has now obtained transcripts of recordings from inside Blackburn's own office. In one, a senior Blackburn staffer says, "Look, I could have ran out of ink writing down the violations." The person later added, "The staff being told to do things is a gross violation of the Hatch Act. The Hatch Act makes it a crime to use federal staff and federal tax dollars for anyone's political campaigns. You're going to be asked to break the law."
That is the tragic part.
And Blackburn's taxpayer-funded staff were so worried about the 24 campaign, according to the evidence provided to the Senate Ethics Committee, they were not sure they could continue to work for her office. The senior staffer offered, "Look, can I tell you something that is completely off the record and, just don't say anything about it?" The junior person replied, "Yeah. He's a psychopath. Look, if I were you, I'd start looking, because it's going to be hell." In the recordings, much of the blame is directed at Blackburn's longtime political strategist, Ward Baker, a bald-headed psychopath who has a reputation around Washington and Tennessee's Capitol Hill for the aggressive, some would even say belligerent manner in which he operates. A bald-headed psychopath, and he doesn't care, and he's not going to. That's what it really comes down to. There's no empathy, compassion, dignity, integrity.
That is the tragic part.
The conversation then turned to why Baker would not hire campaign staff and leave the Senate staffers to do their work for taxpayers.
Ward Baker heads up all of Marsha Blackburn's campaigns and is known for unscrupulous tactics, and this time probably illegal.
A bald-headed psychopath.
Phil, Senator Blackburn opened the door to these new questions with her own claims about that investigation.
Yeah, that's right. We're normally very careful about the types of stories we break once early voting begins. But what Senator Blackburn said during an interview this weekend left us no choice but to share the rest of the story.
"I could have ran out of ink writing down the violations." At the time, Marsha Blackburn was gearing up for her 2024 re-election campaign, and members of her taxpayer-funded Senate staff were afraid of being forced to cross the line and to engage in political activity.
The ethical concern with having official staff working on the campaign is that you're using taxpayer money for campaign activity. And that's a basic ethics rule that all staffers are aware of, as well as all members.
Now, here's how Washington works. If the senator tells her staff to work on her political campaign, she has broken a rule. But when the staff members work on the campaign, they're breaking the law. So who do you think goes to jail?
And Blackburn's taxpayer-funded staff were so worried about the 24 campaign, according to the evidence provided to the Senate Ethics Committee, they were not sure they could continue to work for her office, because it's going to be hell, and you're going to be asked to break the law. Bald-headed psychopath. In the words of one person involved in the investigation, Blackburn's office was like children, quote, running around with scissors, where senior staff knew there was a problem, but no one did anything to put a wall between the Senate staff and Ward Baker. Ain't none of us need to be getting in trouble for a bald-headed psychopath.
As we mentioned, we do have the actual recording cited in this report, but our source has asked that we not play it, at least at this point, out of fear of retributions against the people who are involved and potential impacts upon their job.
A bald-headed psychopath. A bald-headed psychopath.